Hello friends, welcome to Gikkudiaries YouTube channel. Today I have a special guest in Ramji Srinivasan, a noted strength and conditioning coach based in Chennai, and he is popular among the cricketing circles, especially as he is a former S&C coach of the Indian cricket team, and he was part of the team that won the World Cup in 2011 under Mahendra Singh Dhoni. And Ramji, welcome to Gikkudiaries, and this we are going to talk about something which I try to understand and something which could be so dear to you. Talking about injuries, especially Jasprit Bumrah.
Thank you, Jikku, for the invite. Even it's a mystery to me also. Even I like to learn a lot of things.
Okay, so one thing that struck me, Jasprit Bumrah has been a phenomenon. The way he has been winning matches for India, most of the times single-handedly, with his unique awkward action. It's been amazing. But the recent times, after the second bowling innings in the Sydney Test match earlier this year, where he did not bowl because of back spasms, and now he is out because of lower back injury. What is it? Back pain, we all suffer. It's not good to have that, but how serious can this back injury be to a player?
Yeah, actually, thank you once more. Yeah, it's really a mystery thing which we spoke about it merely 2 months back. Immediately as soon as he got injured, they said it's a muscle injury, and I said at that point of time, if it is a muscle injury or strain, he would be really firing on all cylinders before he gets his plane back to India. But I was always suspicious it can be bit on a body side, which can be bit detrimental on a long run. So still we don't know anything about his injuries, to be very honest about it, and what sort of injuries, how it cropped up, why it cropped up, and what are the remedial measures taken regarding that. First of all, he would have had the red flags way back. It doesn't happen overnight, these sort of things. Should have had a red flags wrong back, and maybe I don't know, people didn't notice it, or they thought it won't aggravate to the next level of him getting into this zone of discomfort, So recently I read an article by Shane Bond, and he is one of the amazing fast bowlers who underwent a lower back stress fracture surgery and came back very successfully, modifying his action and modifying the entire biomechanics. Absolutely brilliant fast bowler. There are many like that. One of the few examples, as far as India is concerned, it was El Balaji, who made a huge comeback after a stress fracture and played for 7 or 8 years non-stop, all formats of the game. So there are cases there in India and other countries, those to manage things successfully. Very important point to notice, it's a teamwork by the sports medicine doctor, the physiotherapist, the recovery and rehab specialist, the strength and conditioning coach, the nutritionist, and the sports mental conditioning coach. All of them play a very important role in bringing the athlete or a player out of injury successfully. So we are as strong as the weakest link, and a player, what they go through at that point of time is really terrible. Loads of self-doubts, lack of confidence, a lot of things, and they may not show it outside because keeping themselves upbeat constantly because they don't want to show it to the world that they are unhappy or going through the tough times. Because they are also examples of resilience and grit and willpower, etc. So having said that, coming back to Bumrah, I think we all know it's a no-brainer. He was bound to get injury because of his unique action. He changed a lot of things from his run-up to his running mechanics to the bowling aspect, a slight modification here and there, how he approaches the crease, how he approaches the the pace, etc. regarding his run-up. A lot of things have changed. Still, nevertheless, he was prone to injury, but we all know that. At the same time, Once he was injured, it's the duty of the SNC and the support staff to take care of him. He is a precious player for India. There is no, and the world of cricket. Not only India, he's not an asset to India, he's an asset to world of cricket. Somebody like him, you'll see 1 in a million cases. Literally in India, it's 1 in a billion maybe.
Very true. Very true.
It may be 1 in 1,000. So here it is 1 in a billion, literally. I wish him really, personally, I wish him well, and he has to literally boom Bumrah. You should fire on all 12 cylinders coming back with good recovery and good level of fitness. Anything like Shane Bourne said, anything happens once more to the same area, it can be, it can
end his career,
to put it mildly.
Yeah. So that's something which is not easy to even read, because
there has to be the problem. And here is Jikku. Nobody wants to share information. See, it's a great case study for the future physicals and the professionals. How they can be. You won't know who's willing to come out and help. It's a great case study. We don't have any case studies in India. We depend on either New Zealand or Australia or South Africa or England or America. Where do we have our case studies for our fast bowlers? Why we get certain fast bowlers get injured? Why they get repetitive injuries? Not only lower back, it's about hamstring, it's about hip flexor, it's about groin, it's about OP, it's about rotator cuff injuries. Why we have certain types of injury happening?
Correct.
We need to have data for that. I don't think, I have my doubt that we have enough data to fall back on to set up our own system in place, process and protocols.
Or it could also be a case of why publicize somebody's case as somebody as a public figure, popular figure as Jasprit Bumrah or any of the cricketers.
Personally, I wouldn't agree, because any sports person is prone to injury. Any professional sport prone to injury. It is known fact for everybody. From Novak had an injury in Australian Open, I think so. He had a hamstring tear. Immediately next 2 days, the scan was on. The grade of injury was put out to the media.
Yes.
It's not who wants to talk about it, or over the coffee table you are going to discuss about it. These are all professional sports people.
Yes.
And they have a solid linkage to the professional support staff system. So that a lot of information can be percolated down to the support staff. I look at it that way. So it's a learning curve. Not that he has to suffer for us to learn. No.
No, definitely.
That is not the thing. Any injury, it's a learning curve. How to avoid it, not to repeat again. Any injuries happening repetitively, the same place, then there is something wrong with the system. Something wrong with the approach. We need to understand that also.
So learning from Bumrah or any such serious injury, we can prevent that for others to face the same.
Exactly. That's why we need our own data, Indian data. Why our fast bowlers are getting in a unique way, repetitive. Yes. We had this Umran Malik had an issue. We had this Mayank Yadav had an issue. Still nearly 2 years over.
Yes.
Why is it so?
And Ramji, Umran Malik has been ruled out of this IPL 2025, and it has
ruled out.
He is ruled out, yes, and his replacement has been also named.
Sad, these guys, all of them carry such dreams, to play for the country and play for the franchising. Okay, leave the money thing and fame and other things apart, because every cricketer, every player has got their own goals and own aspiration. It can be decimating, literally decimating. I think we need a very strong, robust system in place for Indian cricketers, which is data-driven for Indian players, not to steal or cut copy paste from other countries where they are doing research for their players, and it is easy for us.
Perhaps we rely on too much of foreign cases, that what suits them need not necessarily suit our players, isn't it?
100%. It's a no-brainer. One man's food is another man's poison. Do they take anything from India?
Exactly. Other than the...
Do they take any information from our sports science people and apply it there? Maybe yoga they'll take. Right. That's it. It ends there. But other protocols, the rehab or prehab protocols, injury prevention mode, the recovery mode, etc., do they take from us? I doubt so. We have to ask that. Why is it always we are pilfering information from them rather than we creating our own database?
Yeah, true.
We are smart enough to do that. I think we have a lot of self-doubts. The self-doubt has to be hammered, literally, to be very honest.
Ramji, you mentioned about Lakshmipati Balaji also having lower back, having that back pain. And I saw him, the way he came back under W. Raman when he was the coach. W. Raman was just, perhaps his comeback, he has openly said that he owes his comeback to W. Raman and how he nurtured him carefully, brought him back to where he was before the
100%. That is.
Lakshmipati Balaji and Jasprit Bumrah, different bowling actions. Perhaps Balaji's was more cleaner or
Balaji
more...
was mixed action, then he had to change everything. We remember WB worked against time, worked against people's opinion.
Yes.
A lot of people said Balaji was finished. In India, we easily make this erratic statement that he is, I know that day itself, I know he is finished. Or this day, I knew that day itself, he is going to get injured. Or that day, nobody is Nostradamus here or Baba Vanga here. Everybody is an expert sitting in the AC room and sitting and faffing around. No. See, when a person goes through the injury, that's when you need support. He or she needs support. No point criticizing and do a dissection on that and doing a post-mortem. No. Give him or her the best possible facilities for him or her to make a comeback. That is a robust system in place. How the Australians are able to do, how the Americans are able to do, the UK guys or any Olympic sport where they are able to do that. Germany, you take Germany or Scandinavian countries, absolutely brilliant. So we need to have that robust system, not sit down and talk like a peach of perfection and paragon of virtue. So that is a drawback. And Balaji, it was completely different thing. We worked on complete change in running mechanics, complete change in bowling action. And I coordinated with this surgeon, I coordinated with his physios. And Raman, we were sitting and dissecting literally every movement of Bala. We did a lot of things out of the box that point of time.
Okay. And this was about 15.
He was the first known case of lower back injury.
Okay.
I mean, stress fracture for a fast bowler in India, if I'm not wrong.
Right.
I have all the data. What Bala did at that point of time. What he went through exactly maybe 20 years back.
This was about, I think his comeback season was, I think, 2007-8, where I remember he was there at Visakhapatnam. Vijay Hazare Trophy, he was there with the Tamil Nadu team and W. Raman as the coach, and I still remember that.
So how much is... he made a comeback with the CSK team. He was the first person to take a hat-trick.
Yes.
I remember
How much is it?
I was with the racing team with Naren Karthikeyan.
Okay, yeah,
so,
right.
I heard the news that Bala took hat-trick and I was literally levitating.
Oh, lovely. So how much is that?
We were on the right path, Gikku. We had to constantly check ourselves with the experts, check ourselves with the feedback mechanism, whether we are on the right track or not, whether the player trusts you completely. You cannot betray the trust.
Right.
You cannot betray their trust and give them false hopes. Next month you'll be right. 2 weeks later you'll be... Nobody is a magician here. There is a process you have to go through. The probability of 1 in a million, you would get the right date.
Right.
That doesn't become norm. It's an exception.
True. How much has it got to do with the bowling action? Because two different bowling actions, Balaji and Bumrah, but similar injury, the lower back and back. How much is it got to do with?
Biomechanically, yes, definitely. Lassit Malinga, completely a different bowling action.
Yes.
Completely. And he had a knee issue, he had a shoulder, he managed it beautifully. Still, he was very lethal towards the end of his career also. So, it is all up to individual. Everybody is different. You cannot compare two same stress fracture with two people. It's completely different scenario. Everybody has to be taken as an individual, and every parameter need to be monitored and taken as an individual parameter. It cannot be one size fits all. What worked for Balaji will never work for Bumrah.
Okay.
Never. Things have changed, lifestyles have changed. You have a lot of things have evolved, facilities are better, food habits, everything is changed. So you have to adapt and adopt accordingly. And also the queuing varies as they progress in their fitness and their rehab level. What you need to look at is very, very important.
Right.
You know there is a problem, what you need to look at and find a solution. It is easy to look at a problem. You need to find a solution, where the problem is, why it started, how it can be overcome, how it can be sorted out. On a long run, it should not repeat again. So the queuing becomes very, very important to the player. At that point of time, he also understands their body better. That sync, mind and neuromuscular coordination, neuropsychology, basically. And not neurophysiology, working on those parameters.
Right. I'm sure Jasprit Bumrah, whenever he is back, how you think should MI be handling him? Because there is also that all-important test tour of England coming up in June and 5 test series. Do you think he should be fit or be made fit for the England tour, or because this is franchisee cricket, the owners call the shots? So how do you look at it? And what should be the right, according to you as a SNC coach, how would you like him
we have to take a call at every day, every step. We have to take it very carefully. I'm sure Mumbai has got one of the best professional support staff among all the franchisees. They can take Bumrah even to Mars and do the surgery and get him back the next day. They have the wherewithal for everything. So I'm sure they would know what to do and how to protect him and preserve him, because they have very good support staff system in place, and they have access to everything. So I'm sure they would know, rather than me belting out how they should protect him and what is the phase in which he needs to go, because I'm sure they have a system in place, and Bumrah may be already been told how to progress in a staged manner, progression, in a step of progression. I'm sure they would know. For him to be there in England, it will be amazing. He'll be the game changer. Definitely, he'll be a game changer there. Let's wait and see, progressively how they are able to manage him, how he is able to come out of injury, and he should not get injured again. He's not getting younger also.
Yes.
So as you get older, recovery takes more time. Your effectiveness of the exercise takes more time. Where in 20s, when you hit 30s, it's different. When you hit 40s, it's different. That's natural phenomena.
Right. Yeah.
So he need to be very mindful on what he is doing. I'm sure he knows. Sure he knows. Yes. He's a very smart kid.
And the way he also comes across, talks about whenever he comes for the post-match and addresses the media, the way he gives out his answers, they are not like you see anybody
he knows exactly what he is. That is what my judgment is. He is very confident about himself and his capacity, capabilities, and his mindset, his physiology, everything. Being a fast bowler, he should be one of the fittest guys in the team. Any fast bowler should be the top level of fitness in the team. No two ways about it, because the body demands so much from a fast bowler rather than a batter or a keeper or a spinner. This is again, it's a norm. It's because of the skill set, the physiological aspect of it. So for him to be a fast bowler bowling 30 overs in a match, he need to be in a supreme level of fitness. And these injuries definitely happen to any sports person, but it should not happen often.
And what Shane Bond said, and because Shane Bond has also had injury-prone career himself, so this number of matches were cut short because of injuries. So he knows what he is talking about, and It's something.
Absolutely.
It's
They
scary
all know
to.
their onions, Jikku. They know their onions.
Yes.
You know, because they have such a robust support staff system, and everything. It's you need. They are always ask questions. They don't follow things blindly.
Right.
That's when the quality increases, isn't it?
True.
These are all professionals.
Talking about again,
Exactly
talking about
what he's talking about. He's a big man.
talking about again injuries. We had Mohammad Shami, who recently made a comeback because of his knee issues and all that. After the World Cup in 2023, he came back and did well at the Champions Trophy. So, how were you surprised with his, or he had enough time, one almost 15 months between matches?
He had enough time. He had enough time to rest and recover and come back and fire. It was not surprising at all. Maybe he could have been a bit fitter. I don't know. People, those who are there, know. I don't know. I think fitness-wise, he was okay. He was able to bowl.
He was fine. Yeah.
Giving runs and other things is a different ball game altogether. It is not directly proportional to your fitness.
Definitely not. Yes.
Have
you seen?
Mix and match things.
Right. Yeah, true. Have you seen these kind of career-threatening injuries with other sportsmen and with sportsmen from other disciplines?
Yeah, quite a lot. Especially Sharat Kamal had a hamstring injury before Rio, a total grade 3 tear. He had to be prepared. I had actually 40 days or 30 days to prepare. I don't know how I did. Full intense workout, three sessions a day. On not touching the injured area and working around it. It's like Chanakya said to Chandragupta Maurya, when you want to invade something, don't go to the hot spot. Go around where it's cooler out, then attack the inside. So similarly, leaving the hot spot, and you have to work around it so that all the other movements are sorted out, and the force distribution and force creation can be evenly balanced. Then we hit the main. That is the way I do. It need not be the way. So there are Narayan had a wrist injury in the racing because his hand got caught in the steering, literally broke his wrist out completely. So he had an injury.
Again, hand got caught in the steering wheel.
Yeah, because the car crashed and finger got caught in the steering. So it went on like this. So we thought, and one more injury on his back. The tire fell. A big tire fell on his back. So they had an accident. It was pretty bad though. He was okay. We are all very scared. Quite a few like that. A lot of hamstring injuries, groin injuries, OP. We had quite a few number of boys in our center. Those who are from other states. I don't want to name them. They have a osteitis pubis problem because of wrong bowling action, wrong choice of exercises. What they did, the SNC and the local trainers or the state trainers. I'm not blaming anybody because this is the case. Scenario is that. Right. So, career threatening a bit, but they have come out of it and played successfully. Quite a number of people. Over the last 30 years, I've seen a lot of hamstring and lower back injuries and bit of a rotator cuff, not much. Lower back and hamstring, quite a few we have seen. And cutting across other sport.
Among injuries, is there anything like this is the worst one can get, and is lower back or back injury the worst, or you can't measure which is worst, which is...
No, there is no worst or best, Jikku, because it's all depend on individual. Say osteitis pubis is again a very, very painful process. Even if you cough, it pains. Shock runs through your spine. It is very, very difficult. Even back, simple back spasm, you cannot. You know how gifted we are to even sit down straight, just to flex and extend or slightly rotate your shoulder. You know how gifted to do that when you have a small injury or a small spasm. Even if you have an abdominal cramp, imagine your abdominal cramp. Any injury is bad injury depending on the intensity, depending on the individual, how they are able to get the pain threshold, how they are able to hold that. No injury is best or worse. It depends on individuals or depends on a sports person whether it's going to be career threatening or just a part and parcel of the process, injury, which can happen, which grade 1 and grade 2, oscillating yo-yo in between that, and then moving to the next level, avoiding very serious injuries. So there are injuries which is specific to cricket. There are certain injuries which are specific to other sport, like tennis or a table tennis or a racing or a soccer. There are injuries specific to specific sport and specific skill. Everybody doesn't get lower back injuries in cricket, or a tennis elbow injury. Who gets? Only the batters get, no? Fast bowlers, very few will get tennis elbow injuries. No. Or a golfer elbow. Fast bowlers get rotator cuff. Batters don't get rotator cuff. Spinners, bowlers get rotator cuff injuries. Batters don't get rotator cuff injuries. So it depends on skill, depends on sport.
Okay. And you just mentioned about tennis elbow, so I cannot leave you without asking about Sachin Tendulkar and his tennis elbow, because tennis elbow, we got to know that there was something like this only after Sachin underwent whatever it was. How painful was that?
Went to UK for his tennis elbow treatment. He had a shock treatment. At that point of time, that shock treatment was very fair. He was not heard in India. So he went to UK and got it. Andrew was there with him. And he came for shoulder injury to me.
Okay.
At 2006 with Andrew and me, we did something, and then he had to undergo an operation. Then it became okay. Right. At that point of time, I remember telling to the media, he has got another minimum 4-5 years left in him. Then he shifted gear in 2010. Boom! One of the best seasons, double century and top notch. He was one of the best athletes cutting across, best sports person cutting across any sport I have seen. MS Dhoni, Virat Kohli, Ajinkya Rahane. These are all some of the very good examples of people disciplined on fitness. Yadav. A lot of unsung heroes are there in the Indian team.
Oh yes.
Umesh Yadav, Varun Aaron was injury prone, but he is phenomenally fit. Elwala still runs. There are quite a few number of unsung heroes in the was there in the Indian team. Gautam Gambhir.
Okay.
Sprint. Umesh Raina. There are so many. Jaddu. Lot of unsung heroes are there. Those who go under the radar quietly.
Right.
So Sachin Tendulkar, then rest is history after the shoulder came to me, and then he went on to the next level. And
he often tells jokingly that every part of his body, right from the top of his tip of the head to the toe, has been
all joints, 9 joints injury.
But that's
remember we were talking, Sachin, some time back, and he said, Ramji, all my joints are injured, a lot of muscles, I know where it existed after the injury. And one thing what he defied, every sports scientist who sat down and said he has to reduce the bat weight, that otherwise have a repetitive lower back injuries. He never had any lower back injuries after that.
Okay.
No, never had any shoulder injury after that. He was throwing as powerful as anybody. He never had any tennis elbow. He never had any hamstring issue. He never had any toe issues. He had a lot of issues with the toe and other things, but his pain threshold was unbelievable, Jikku. Remarkable,
even at the age of 51, in the International Masters League, he has led India Masters to title triumph. Yes. So that's...
my God, it's a treat to watch, really.
Yeah.
Old vintage Sachin back.
Yes.
And it's a real treat. Every movement of his is a treat to watch. It's like a ballet dance with Mozart on the side.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, it was wonderful talking to you, Ramji, on injuries, and especially the prized possession that Indian cricket has of Jasprit Bumrah, and how they have to preserve him, how they preserve him, how they protect him, because we need Jasprit Bumrah fit and be bowling India to victories for as 100%. Long as he can.
I'm sure he'll be taken care very well, and he knows what he's thinking. Very sharp kid.
Yes. Thank you, Ramji, for this, and
thank you, Gikku,
always Twitter and learning points whenever I talk to you. Thank you very much.
I keep learning loads of things by the questions you ask. Thank you, Jikku. Have
Thank
a
you.
lovely
Bye.
day.